Testing. There we go. I feel like, I don't know. Are we a vibe or are we not a vibe? Are we vibing? We gotta sit up. As of only you've only seen the new setup just a little bit. I feel like I'm we're matching all in. This is crazy. What's up? I'm so tired. I'm also a bit tipsy. Tipsy is not the word. I just been drinking some wine. I just been having a wine time. Hi. I've been having a wine time. And for once, I don't have tea, but we are back. We are back, and I hope that you missed us. And I don't know, there's no other intro, so let's just run it. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it costs everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black, multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. Hey, unbothered fam, we're back. Did you miss us? Yes, I definitely stole that from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You're all welcome. Thank you. I have been having a great break, just kind of taking a little bit of time off. There's been so much that's going on. I had my vendor event that happened in Ann Arbor, and that was really, actually, really successful. But it was also just kind of like a lot. Doing vendors events a lot. And then I like left there and recorded a podcast. And I already knew that my mind was just not, it was not going to be where I would want it to be. So I was like, we need, we've been rocking this for a lot of freaking episodes now. Like, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to say, like, oh, you know what? Let's breathe, let's relax for a second, let's let everything kind of clear, and then we can get back into it. As you can see, my acne is still acne. It looks so bad right now, but a lot of it is just like most of these aren't actually active. They're all just kind of like going away. But I've been doing things hopefully to get better. I just recently redid my cover for Carry Me Home, and I'm so excited about that because that book, obviously Olympic War is my big series, but that book just means literally so much to me, and being able to kind of redesign it, it's going to be hella pricey now. Like the price is going to be like $25. Hella pricey now, but it's still like it's nice to have, I'm not drinking any tea today because I just came from dinner with my mom and I was drinking wine. If you guys don't know, I love wine. If you ever want to get me something that's just like, we love you, Gabi, wine. Also, my mom just got me this cute, hold on, I'll make sure you can see it. Cute little Stitch kind of boo boo. I got a Stitch boo boo now. She's so cute and I love her. And I also have a Care Bear like tummy warmer. These are kind of just like Easter basket gifts that kind of came later on. And absolutely, I get Easter basket gifts. I don't want to hear anybody I don't want to hear anybody talk about it. I really do force my mom to buy me Easter basket gifts. There's no way. I'm don't care if I'm 34 years old. I'm getting Easter basket gifts. But other than that, April was really hard. Just having to deal with a lot of things, like the anniversary of my surgery and the anniversary of my best friend passing away and so many other things. It was really, really hard for me. And I feel very excited to make it out of it. If you guys haven't seen my episode with the medium, I would definitely say go check it out. It was honestly just so helpful for me and my recovery and really healing from it. And honestly, it provided me with just so much. There's a lot of conversations about you're supposed to give your ancestors all these things. And I never really understood that. And then having that conversation with her, with Michelle, everything kind of just started to click. And it's like, oh, they're still with you, but they just don't get to enjoy the parts of life that we get to enjoy. So, like, part of it is our responsibility to kind of give that to them and kind of give them the opportunity to really get to just kind of like be in that space. And so it clarified a lot of stuff for me. And there's still things that I think about that are really sad. And there's still moments where it really hurts, but I've been recovering so much from like my toe injury and then being sick, and my voice still isn't back yet, which is just frustrating. But I've just kind of been going with the flow. Recently, lately, it's just been like, why fight it? Everything's going to work out the way that it's meant to work out, and it's going to be however it's meant to be. I don't have literally any control over that. And so I was having a conversation with someone about like radical acceptance and being like, look, I can't control this. I can't make this better. Obviously, do I want my books to sell more? Absolutely. Do I want the indie author books to sell more? Absolutely. Do I want more of these things to be where they want to be? Yeah. But at the same time, I don't have any control over that. The only thing I have control over is myself. And I'm going to keep doing the things that I want to do and that I love to do. And that is always going to be my focus. And then everything else will just kind of fall into place, I guess. I'm not gonna stress it. I'm not gonna force it. Whatever is meant to be is, and when I need a break, the universe will provide me a break, and when I don't, then they won't, and we'll keep rocking it out. I will say that at my vendor event, I did sell out of Olympic War, and that was so super fascinating and just amazing for me. I'm so self-conscious about it. Like, vending has always been such a thing that I love to do, but I've also really hated doing. It's so personal. And there's been a lot of, like, toxic things that have been attached to me vending, and that makes it kind of a lot harder sometimes because people have their opinions of you, and people treat you based on whether they think that you're a threat or not. And sometimes when you go to these vending events, you get treated differently based on whether these people think that you are a threat or not. And I've had a lot of vendor events that didn't go well. And I've had a lot of vendor events where people were frustrated with me. And I also put so much of my energy into what I made. So having to not have to put that much energy in things, and like, when I write my books, all of my energy goes into it, but that's it. Then once they're done and it's a separate entity, and that feels different. And I've come to a really calm place about that. Like, you either are going to like my books or you're not going to like my books. And that's just, there's nothing I can do about that. If you find fault in them, if you find errors in them, I don't have control over that. And I just have to like let that go. That's not my responsibility. That's not my thing to hold on to. Not everybody is going to like my books. Not everybody's going to want to read or going to want to support. And that is 100% up to them. And, I think about one of the things that my best friend said in our last fight about like me being entitled. And I don't think that I'm entitled. But I do think, like, there was an insecurity thing going on and, like, frustration of why why don't people support me more? That's definitely a frustration that I've had a lot of my life. Like, what is it about me that makes people not support me? And I still, honest to Moses, don't know. But at the end of the day, I've just learned that I'm really gonna stop focusing on that. There are people who love me, there are people who support me, there are people who will ride or die for me, and that is where I want my energy to go. And that is where I wanna focus, and I don't wanna spend all my time worrying about what people are and aren't gonna do and how they aren't gonna support me. That just doesn't feel like my vibe. But let's get into some pop culture stuff. I've been trying to keep up with the Taylor Frankie Paul stuff. There's been updates going on, but their court case, so today is April 30th. When you guys hear this, it won't be April 30th. But when I recorded this, it was April 30th. And there are court cases that are coming up. And I've been trying to kind of keep up on it, but it's been really, chaotic. Um, I'm on social media right now. So Taylor Frankie Paul, she deactivated her social media and she just reactivated it today. Today is her court case. Jesse Draper released a statement in support of her. And from what I've gathered, it has been almost proven that Dakota was the one to release the footage to TMZ. And we all kind of really knew that, that was going on today. Or not today. We all kind of really knew that that was what was going on. We all kind of felt like that, but obviously with men specifically, we have to have the confirmation that that was what really happened, even though we all knew that that was what really happened. And I love that that statement came out and that Jessie said it, because obviously we know that who separated from her husband, has filed from divorce. Jordan and Dakota, which is Taylor's ex and father of one of her kids, they were like best friends and they were trading secrets and they were hyping each other up. And that goes to a statement of like, be careful who your friends are, because who your friends are sometimes will hype you up to do the wrongest shit in life. And they don't really need to be your friends if that's what they're going to do. And so we're sharing all of this. We're trying to figure out what is going on. Today was the protective hearing order and the custody order, and I'm going to try to like get some information, so hold on. So from what I've seen, what is happening is that they haven't had a decision on the custody order. Both of their restraining orders or protective orders are going to be in place for the last 3 years, and they want them to go to mediation, which is just weird. That's just weird. Like, hey, we admit that there is a lot of abuse going on here, but we want you guys to go to mediation. And you have a protective order, but we want you to go to mediation about custody. And it's just, oh man, there's evidence that shows that Dakota's entire plan was to embarrass Taylor. And that was like a quote from what I just saw. And to kind of ruin Taylor. Hey, there's always this conversation that men make about women, and they say, yeah, when women accuse you of this, it ruins your entire career. Well, ironically, men can be vindictive and try to accuse women of this as well for the same thing. So I don't know what this says, but the custody isn't decided. The restraining orders are still there. And I don't know. This is just sad. This whole situation is sad. I wish that there could be a better solution. I wish that, more and more, and we're going to get to like the main topic today, because the main topic today is going to be Twisted, which covers the disgusting behavior of Larry Nassar and also the many ways that people protected him and allowed him to just kind of get away with everything. But also, more and more, you just kind of, you see just how still powerful men are. And that's scary, because there's been so much fighting for equality and to be on the same playing field and leveled. And at the end of the day, it's just, we're just not. We're just not. We're not there. We don't have that respect. None of that is given to us. And so it's sad to see that, like, for instance, her Bachelorette season is still not released, even though we have more information. We have text messages from Dakota. We have sworn testament that Dakota was doing this on purpose to hurt Taylor. We still don't have any resolution about the situation about Bachelorette. But don't worry, guys. Usher and Chris Brown are going on tour. When I saw that, mm, that was just hard. The most heartbreaking thing for me, specifically about Chris Brown, is the amount of Black women that defend him and the amount of Black women that say, well, it was just Rihanna. When can we let this go? I want to be clear. Most people who caused physical harm to significant other and the way that he did, which shows serious anger issues and ability to control their anger. And even if you look at other things in his past, that doesn't go away unless it's treated. That doesn't go away unless they really seek help. And to clarify, it's not just Rihanna. It's Karuchi. There's so many other things. There's something in 2020, I think it's at 2025, where he is still facing criminal charges in the UK, and he was held in the UK and had to pause his entire tour. And we're letting this man, it's not even that. You know, I love Jhené Aiko, but when I saw that she was going on Chris Brown's tour for a bit, I was so disappointed. Honestly, I was so disappointed. When I see women, specifically Black women, continue to support a Black man who clearly doesn't care about women for real, it hurts. Michael B. Jordan has been the most awesome, amazing man. And he doesn't get enough attention. There are Black men out there who are fantastic and beautiful and loving and caring, and we don't give them enough attention. We pay attention to the semi-attractive, mediocrely attractive light-skinned guy with pretty eyes because he can dance and sing. And if that doesn't if that doesn't ring a bell to you about racism, like, everyone gets mad at me because I'm a man hater or whatever, but I'm really just holding men accountable. And the people I can hold the most accountable are Black men. But to be real, we don't give enough, and I will include myself in that. We don't give enough credit to amazing, fantastic Black men. And if you listen to my podcast, like all of it, you will know that when there's someone up there, I do. Michael B. Jordan, I give him so much praise. I give him so much credit. I cannot give that man enough. And I wish that we could see more of that. I wish we could give them more attention. So what I'm going to ask for you guys is, hop in the comments, hop on my social media. Let me know Black men who are out there, bigger names, Black men who are out there who are really doing the damn thing and supporting women and loving on women, because I need it. I mean, have you guys seen the Meg Thee Stallion stuff going on? That poor girl can't catch a break. She goes from having exhaustion for being in Moulin Rouge to finding out and coming out and saying that Klay Thompson cheated on her. Golden retriever energy. I personally do not like golden retriever energy. There's something that's always been false to me about golden retriever energy. There are some people that I've met that truly, authentically have golden retriever energy. Most of them, though, no. Most of them, it's not. And this is, I did it a long time ago, and I was talking about how I don't think I would ever, it would take me a really long time to hard launch someone I was with. And honestly, right now, I'm not dating. I don't plan on dating for at least the next 3 years. I plan on really and truly focusing on myself and focusing on my goals and building myself up and building my brand up. And that's where I want to be. Even if I do feel lonely or whatever sometimes, like, that's truly where I want to be. I just want to build myself up. I don't have the time to build anybody else up. And I'm not just doing that for me, I'm doing that for other people. Like, I truly do not have the time to build someone else up. But it's just crazy out here. Like, who do you trust anymore? Piggybacking on what we're going to talk about, the Larry Nassar thing, he was a man who was trusted in the Olympic community. And that trust allowed him to do what he did. Who do we trust anymore? Because what the quote unquote nice guy that everybody wants us to believe in, those are the people that are hurting us now. Those are the people that are cheating on us. Those are the people that are berating on us. Those are the people that are introducing us to their families, introducing us to their friends, bringing us on family trips, making these promises. And those are the ones that are still betraying us. And what I want is, I don't want to be betrayed. I don't want to put my energy into something and then 2 months or 2 years or 2 decades down the line, find out that it was all a lie. I'd rather have a dog. I'd rather have a dog. I'd rather have an animal who will love me and be loyal to me and I can trust and will give me cuddles. And when I come home, they'll always be excited that I'm there and think that I've been gone for 7 years, even though I've been gone for an hour. Then deal with this. And then I see people on social media that, are talking about Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion from WAP, and they're like, WAP is 0 and 2. And it's like, isn't that a problem though? Is it a problem that the definition of what you want in a Black woman, for whomever, Black, white, whatever, the definition of what you guys have portrayed to the media that you want in a Black woman is this. And when you get it, you just cheat on her. So that's not really what you think is beautiful. That's not really what you think is significant. That's not really what you think is the idea of what you want. So what is it? Inquiring minds want to know what is it? Because at this point, it doesn't feel like it's anything. It doesn't feel like there's anything that we as Black women specifically can do. I don't know. Watching celebrity women who are beautiful, who are gorgeous, get cheated on is just like, and look, I get it. There are a gazillion beautiful women out there. I literally had a conversation with my mom recently and was like, for most of my life, I tried to compete with the most beautiful women. And I don't want to do that. That's not who I am. I don't aspire to be the most beautiful. It was like the perfectionist in me that thought that I was only going to be loved if I was the most beautiful person in the room. I don't aspire to be the most beautiful person in the room. Like, legitimately, that is not my aspiration anymore. I don't want to be the hottest girl in the room. None of that. I just want to be me. And, but I say all this to say there are freaking amazingly gorgeous women out there, white, Black, Asian, whoever, and they're still getting dogged by men. So what is it? Like, I would love to have I would love to have a man on here and converse and not steeped in like trad wife stuff, because obviously that's not going to happen. The belief that the woman should cook and clean or whatever, which are basic human tasks that we all should learn and know in life. No. But like, what are you looking for? If you don't want the person, is it that though? Like, do you want someone who will sit at home and not do anything? But then if that is what you want, why do you seek out women who are the antithesis of that? Why do you invite women into your home, into your family, that are antithesis of what do you think that like when they get with you, they will change? They will magically shape into what they should be because this relationship, like, let me be here to tell you, as a woman, relationships don't change people. They just don't. I thought I could change someone. And I thought I could change many people. And I think that they really did want to change. And I think that they really did care about me. But are they here now? Because you can't change people. And that men need to know that you can't change. You can't, what is it saying? You can't turn a hoe into a housewife? Sure. Cool. Great. Don't try. If you get a bad bitch, she's going to be a bad bitch. That's just facts. Like, that's what she's going to be. And instead of trying to change it, celebrate it, love it, be happy about it. You got one of the baddest in the game, or maybe you don't want that. Maybe realize that. I think there's a lack of like self-awareness and what we all of us, men, women in general, what we really want. And I think that needs to be more prevalent in our conversations, whether it's dating or whatever. Like, what What does any of us want? And are we searching for things that we want? Or are we searching for things that we lust for? Because I think that what's happening is we're all searching for things that we lust for, and which is fair because lust is that that's like that spark, that's the immediate thing. That's like, ooh. But maybe it's not what we want. And maybe we change that. I don't know. During my break, I haven't kept up much on any other pop culture things. Kind of been just chilling. I did go mini viral, or currently am going mini viral on TikTok again. Literally for just saying that someone unplugged the charger in a public charger from my car and then plugged it into the car, which was wild. But that has like 83,000 likes right now. And I'm like, this cool video that I just did about what would my character wear? Nothing. Nada. But this video about me being petty, 81,000 likes. Sure. Okay. But the comments are hilarious, by the way. The comments are like, well, this is why I have a gas vehicle. So do I, because I have a hybrid. Or this doesn't happen at the gas tank. No, it doesn't happen to me either because I have a hybrid. Like people trying to push their agenda, or other people being like, well, how long was your car charged? The fuck does it matter? Why are you touching other people's belongings? Like that's a control thing. Why are you touching other people's belongings? Is it frustrating? Absolutely. But why are you touching other people's belongings? Now, mind you, my car was there for 2.5 hours. That was it. That was about the time it finished charging, was about the time that I would have reached to my car. Because I wasn't going to be in the office that long. I was in the office longer, but then I didn't stay in that parking lot for so long because I knew that I was going to be here so long that I would only park my car for the last little bit of what I was doing. But what the fuck does that matter? Why do we excuse someone's behavior by trying to like accuse the victim? Well, what did you do to entice this? Absolutely. This is the problem. This is like this victim blaming culture that we exist in, where we just want to like make the victim feel like they're responsible for someone else's bad behavior. We're all responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for how we react, and we're responsible for how we act. Period. Point blank. Ain't nothing else. So if you act whatever poorly, that's on you. Like my reaction to them touching my car, that's on me. And I made the cognitive decision to do what I did, knowing I'm not going to blame anybody else for it. I did it. It was me. Hello. I don't know. As you can tell, late nights with me, we're all somber. Late nights with me with wine, we're all somber. But I don't know. Books that I'm reading. Let's see. I just finished The Adventures of Damnation Kane. That is available on the Indie Ink podcast. Definitely go check that out. That was a great read. I am currently reading Silencer by Kathleen Ray, or Casey Ray. I'm so in love with it. She is the co-host of Indie Ink, and we're getting ready to do one where we read each other's books. I probably should have given her a shorter book to read. Sorry. But we're getting ready to do a thing where that's happening. Book selling's been going good. I'm trying to think, is there any other books? I do have 2 books coming to me that I'm excited about, but in the last like week or so, other than the book we're going to cover today, I haven't finished anything. So let's get into the book that I'm going to. Oh, wait. Sorry. Is this thing on? We have an important announcement. I'm so sorry, guys. Unbothered fam. I don't know if you know this, and I'm going to talk to you, and we're going to have this intimate conversation, okay? Ariana Grande has announced a new album. It's going to be called Petal. Comes out July 31st. And pre-orders are ready. And we're all freaking out. Yeah. It feels good. The world feels better when Ariana Grande drops an album. No lie. The world feels better when Ariana Grande drops an album. But yeah, her album's coming out July 31st. Pre-orders are already set. I'm already saving up money to get that bad boy on vinyl because I want it. I want it so bad. But me and one of my coworkers are geeking out about it. There's this baby tee with a bunny from the new album that I really, really want. I'm saving up for that too. But just being able to just vibe with my Ariana Grande vibe again would just be really nice. It's been a while. It's been a while since new music come out, and I'm so excited. My eyes are like tearing up. I think I'm way I'm way more tired than I thought I was. So excitement, excitement, excitement. Let's get into it. So, quick question. Have you ever opened your to-do list, looked it dead in the face, and then immediately decided that reorganizing your desktop, deep diving on YouTube, or starting a completely unrelated side quest was actually the better life choice? Yeah, same. And that's exactly why this week on Basically Unbothered, we're talking about something that doesn't yell at you to wake up at 5 a.m. or just be more disciplined like some productivity drill sergeant. We're talking about A Pinch of Productivity, the secret sauce for motivation by Don Turner. Because instead of shaming you into being productive, it gives you the pinch framework: pressure, interest, novelty, challenge, and humor. Translation: you're not lazy, your brain is just bored. This is about learning how to work with your brain instead of fighting it so you can actually finish the things you keep putting off without turning your life into a boot camp montage. So if your motivation bar has been sitting at low HP for a little too long, go check out A Pinch of Productivity wherever books are sold. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally finish one task before starting 5 new ones. So recently I just finished an Audible original, which is called Twisted. It was about the scandal, to say lightly, that was Larry Nassar. And if you guys haven't followed this, so if you don't know, I'm from Michigan, born and raised. And you're gonna be like, what about your St. Thomas roots? My mom is born and raised in St. Thomas. I spent a very much of my life in St. Thomas. I'm both. But I am from Michigan. I was born in Michigan. Um, I'm a University of Michigan fan. I am not a Michigan State fan. But Larry Nassar was a Michigan State physician. He was a doctor, and he was also a doctor for the USA gymnastics team and many other things. He was known as the doctor to go to when you had a sports injury. And in 2018, he was tried, pled guilty, and convicted of sexual assault with what could be over 100 to 1,000 or more girls at the time. And I knew a little bit about this when it happened, because it was disgusting. And, obviously it happening in Michigan was just like, what the fuck? But then, finding out that it happened not only in Michigan, but like to people who are in USA gymnastics, to USA Olympic winners, was just like, what? And then from listening to the book, you hear that it could have been prevented so many times. And that is, that's one of the hardest parts. I definitely recommend giving this book a read. I hope that by saying Larry Nassar, most of you knew that this is a trigger warning, but this is a trigger warning. If you don't want to hear about SA, especially SA for children, I put everything in the beginning of this so you can just not listen to the rest of this episode. But it was really sad to listen to read along with. Just the impact that he had and how big that he grew. Like, he was the name as a doctor for USA Gymnastics. He was with so many USA teams, the first team to win gold in so long, and he was picking a Olympic gymnast off the floor after she finished her vault virtually on one leg or one foot. And to know what was going on behind the scenes and how so many people failed these women. That was the hardest part of that, was the gaslighting that went on for these women, and when these girls at when it happened, and when they told their parents, and the amount of times that he could convince even their parents that their children were wrong or that their children were misunderstanding. And even if he couldn't convince the parents, he could convince everybody else around him. He was convicted in 2018, I believe. The investigation finally happened around 2017. Thanks to someone named Rebecca. His first incident that was reported happened in 1997. For 20 years, this man was enabled to harm young girls of all different ages without anyone really truly holding him responsible. That is the saddest part about that documentary, is hearing how many women came forward, came to say, hey, this happened. It wasn't okay. What are we going to do? And their response is, well, there's nothing we can do. Or Larry would never do that. These women must be lying. Even when everything came to be and the FBI investigation started really going underway, and he would email the dean of Michigan State University, be like, hey, what do I do? And the dean's like, we support you. So many people were fooled by a man that was an average looking man. A lot of people felt that he was awkward, but could help by his words. This is why I say words don't mean shit. He would go on podcasts. He would go on newscasts. He would go on record so many times talking about how much of an advocate he was for these gymnasts and how important he made it that he cared about these gymnasts. And behind the scenes, this man was abusing these gymnasts, countless women, and not just gymnasts, people who went into his office. And I would say listen to the book, because I'm not going to describe how he was, but he was, for instance, touching women, girls without gloves on. He was getting an erection while touching these girls. And he would position himself so that their parents couldn't see. When he was practicing in his office, at his medical office, he would send out the resident who was supposed to be there. And when someone lodged a complaint against him to Michigan State, they basically said that she was wrong. He was doing a medical procedure and she misunderstood. And then the dean or the president said, all right, here, we're going to implement these new things, but never checked to make sure they were implemented. There were so many ways that these women were failed. And like hearing it was horrible. And the book did a great, amazing job at portraying the story and guiding you through what was going on and introducing you to some big players. And at first I was kind of like, damn, I really wish they would have interviewed more Olympic gymnastics people. But then I was like, you know what? No, that's not fair. We want to hear more about the Olympic gymnastic people because they're celebrities to us. But in reality, those everyday girls were also his victims. And I love that an everyday woman at that time, took him down. And so the book kind of intertwines, because it's an Audible original, you get a lot of the direct audio from these victims. And one is from one of the victims' mothers, because unfortunately, one of the victims never recovered from what happened to her. She became addicted to drugs, and then she eventually took her own life. And That, like, when I heard that part, I was like, "Fuck." Like, that's a real life implication of these things, and it was triggering for me and for reasons that I'm not ready to talk about yet. But it was triggering for me and just coming to the realization, like, yeah, these things really do affect you. These things really do hurt you. And we don't think about that. We don't participate in like, "Oh, how does this affect me?" Because we're just like, well, I'll just push through." I'm like that. I'll just push through. I don't think about how it affects me. I don't think about how my day-to-day actions change. But that was like a very stark reminder that your day-to-day actions do change and that actions do have resounding consequences. Consequences that bounce off the wall of your life back and forth and back and forth that can be deadly. And especially when you're told that it's not real and when you don't have anybody else to believe you. You feel alone. You feel left out. You feel confused. And that is what I got from a lot of these women. And I think that this book was so important to be able to tell this story and make it really clear what goes on and what happened and why it was just not okay. But it was more evident that we have to do better. 20 years. For 20 years, this man was allowed to do whatever he wanted. And by the way, when they finally investigated his house, because he deleted his Michigan State computer when he handed it in, before the full investigation went through, he was fired from USA Gymnastics after everything kind of started to come into light. Even though there were still people who enabled him. But you find out that he had 37,000 plus of inappropriate videos and photos of minors going back to infancy. This was the man that people were defending. This was the man that people were protecting over the girls who were telling the truth the whole time. Him. And it makes me wonder, does it matter? And I know that's not the right thing to say, and I'm sorry for that, but it really does make me wonder, like, does it matter? I'm so thankful that those women came forward and they finally took him down and they're doing the advocacy that they're doing. But the amount of work that they had to do to get believed is crazy to me, you know? I can't fathom it. I can't imagine that as human beings, we would have to do that much work for someone just to believe that another person harmed us. That the nail in the coffin wasn't the hundreds to thousand women that he abused, but was the evidence of the photos and videos. That when he abused Olympic stars on a scale where they're going global, abused a woman in multiple countries, that didn't matter. Why is it that that's not good enough? I had a sexual harassment case when I was in the Navy. I'm a person who likes to keep things in control for various reasons. I've been in really toxic things, and I found that keeping things to myself is the best way to make sure that I don't put myself in that type of energy anymore. And I had a really good routine, and that's one of the reasons why really going to my ATs were really hard for me. Because it ruined my routine, and also I didn't know this other area. I didn't know where I was going to. And that was the last time I went on AT, by the way. And so I went on AT. It was in Coronado. And on my very first day, this guy that I've never met in my life started harassing me, started kicking my boots, poking fun. Maybe he thought it was flirting, but I made it very clear it wasn't. He, another sailor, and I went on a excursion, and on this excursion we were driving a vehicle, and I was the one driving. And while I was driving, he was touching my face, asked me if I had makeup on, harassing me. And it was only not called sexual assault because he touched my face and not any other part of my body. Apparently, he invited me to go play Smash Bros, which I then learned later on was a euphemism for other things. And I am fearful that what would have happened if I would have went to play with him. He made comments about my music and how I'm asking for it. He made comments about wanting to have me for lunch. He made comments about my hair. There were so many things. I don't even have the words. And that just going through that process itself was so difficult. And at the end, even though he was found guilty, there was nothing that they could do because he had gotten out. So even though horrible things happened to me, I was told that nothing could happen. There was nothing they could do to him, even though he probably did it to other people. And he's probably going to do it again in his civilian life because of him being out of the military. And what that told me in that moment was that the military can't protect me. And I imagine that what most of these girls felt was the same. And I love that they finally got their moment in court. They got their moment to come forward and say everything they needed to say and let it be clear. And I love that they had a judge that not only allowed it but encouraged it. But there's always going to be a level of distrust that they're going to have now. 'Cause how do you come back from that? There's a conversation about how much we're not doing to protect Black men, and I agree. I do. I think that there is a system and a stereotype that is created so that Black men will always be viewed as lesser, and that is disheartening at its least. But there's also not enough done to protect women. And, men, they wanna quote that they're protector and providers, but most of them are the predators pretending to be a protector. Larry Nassar, pretended to be a protector of these women, and in reality, he was a predator. And he used his illusion of protecting to physically harm young girls who trusted him and used that trust that other people had in him, adults. He convinced friends when he sexually assaulted their daughter that she was wrong and that she lied. And they believed it. I don't know what that does to you as a person. I don't come forward with a lot of things because that's a lie. I do know what it does to you as a person. And I don't come forward with a lot of things that happened in my life because I don't need other people telling me what did or didn't happen, if it was or wasn't right, if it was or wasn't okay. I need to feel safe in my truth. And sometimes, unfortunately, feeling safe in my truth means having to keep it to myself. There's a lot of things I keep to myself because entrusting someone else with some of the darkest things about you, it really is not safe. And there are a lot of people who won't believe you. And honestly, I was one once, and it was the worst thing I ever did in my life. And I think it's one of the reasons why I'm steadfast on believing people. And I'm listening to another book right now about another incident where a boy, attacked a girl, and the community came behind him. Oh, he's just a troubled kid. And there's so many excuses for the abuser, but there's never the empathy, sincerity that's given to the victim. And I don't even want to know what these women faced having to tell this story. Can't even imagine. No idea. But it was a hard listen for sure. But I also think that it was a good listen. I needed to hear it. I needed to know. I think we all should know. I highly recommend listening to that book for anyone, women, men, whatever. I think that it's so important because it helps you to pay attention and to know that sometimes the person that you least suspect is the person that is very much capable of doing it. And to those women from this story, I'm so sorry that no one believed you. I really am. And I hope that that trial and everything else gave you peace. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recapped. We are back and we are on Mondays. We are going to be dropping episodes Mondays and Wednesdays right now. That's kind of the vibe. I've had to move things around to fit my life right now. And I'm trying to just accept that if a TV show can change the day and time that they're releasing TV shows, then I can change the day and time when I'm releasing episodes. So thank you so much for coming back after my break. I was actually really nervous about how many people were going to back after my break. I haven't taken a break since I went into the mental asylum or the mental health center, whatever you guys want to call it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys all, and I have some amazing episodes coming for you next. So stay tuned. Thank you for listening to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recapped. Please don't forget to like and share and tell everybody that this is one of your favorite new podcasts that are coming out, keeping it real and being as honest and chaotic as possible. Also, go check out our new merch. We have the new Man Hater University shirt for all those people who kept calling me a man hater that is available right now. All you have to do is go to blakegabrielle.com and click under the Basically Unbothered tab, and you have the ability to get that t-shirt. And there is a hat that is coming soon as well. Other than that, we will see you next time, and welcome to the new Monday Basically Unbothered recap. Gabi Gabs podcast.